It is Sunday, February 25th, 2024. Yesterday, somebody said, I can't trust you, JB, because you're not looking into the camera. You're looking away from the camera. I can't trust you. So I want to make sure I'm looking right at you today, looking right at you. I think that's kind of funny. When I speak, I like to look around. That's just how I am. But this person evidently couldn't trust me because I wasn't looking directly into the camera enough. So hopefully that helps. But enough of the nonsense. Let's get into it today. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We got to continue to wake people up. We got to continue to trigger the algorithm. So please like this video. Please share this video. Share all my videos all over your social media. And leave a comment down below. So many people have woken up because of your great comments. But this morning, I was reading some of the news, and this one from King World News. And it's titled, Warning, the greatest bubble in world history is beginning to burst. Matthew Piepenberg, partner at Matterhorn Asset Management, says it's almost comical to watch policymakers of all stripes and county codes caught in a corner, yet pretending we don't notice. Do they really believe that you don't notice that, you know, when you get a box of cereal, there's less cereal in it, or the box is smaller, or when you go out to eat, you're getting less portions and you're paying more? Do they think you don't notice this? Do you think, like, when you go buy bacon, it's not 16 ounces, it's 12 ounces? You go, oh, it's a good deal today, it's $5.99. Yeah, it's $5.99 because it's 12 ounces. I cannot even believe what is going on. I looked at, I was at the grocery store the other day, I picked up a candy bar, and it was so tiny. And, you know, you go to the stores, you spend your hard-earned money, you pick up a package, there's less in it, the candy bar is smaller, but the price is double. When is it going to end? And the answer is it probably never is going to. And I don't know how much more people can work, how many more hours they can work, how many more jobs they can take on. It's going to be tough, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be really, really tough. But Matthew goes on to say, but there's really nothing funny at all about major economies crawling into recession, such as Germany, the UK, China, or denying recession, the United States of America. While our mental midgets from DC to the EU play with bonds, inflation currency, and war like kindergartners with gas and matches. And somewhere across the globe, somebody is going to light that match, and that gasoline is going to go up on fire, and it is going to be catastrophic. Things are coming, ladies and gentlemen. You know, yesterday, please check out yesterday's video. I was talking about, for a couple minutes, this balloon that was flying over that nobody really paid attention. We were told that it's nothing to worry about. It's a hobbyist balloon, but it's flying 45,000 feet in the air in U.S. airspace, then out of U.S. airspace. You know, the amount of cyber attacks, the thousands of pharmacies that have shut down because of this cyber attack, where they could not process prescriptions. Think about where all this is heading. Yet they want you to have a CBDC. They want all of your money on a computer screen. Do you know how easy it will be to control you? It'll be much easier to control you than it is now. They have full control. They can shut the system down in a heartbeat. This is why I believe people should be getting out of the system. They should be getting back to real money, physical things that they can hold, that they can touch, that they can get to. Janet Yellen, in the spring of 2018, she said, you will never see another financial crisis in your lifetime. I remember when she said that. Boy, unbelievable. Then she went on to say, I do worry that we could have another financial crisis. She said that in the fall of 2018. So from the spring to fall, she did a complete 180. Jerome Powell, there's no reason to think this bullish cycle can't continue for some time, effectively, indefinitely. He said that in 2018. Then later, in 2019, he said the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. There's no hiding from it. Jerome Powell, 2019. So they say one thing in the beginning of the year. By the end of the year, they're saying something else. So can you really trust what any of these people are telling you? Can you trust any politician? No, you cannot. All you can do is trust yourself. And this is why it's imperative that you are preparing. If nothing happens, great, you're prepared. But anybody out there now that believes nothing's going to happen, you need help. You really, really do. You know, these people that will say, oh, JB, you've been talking about this for 5 years. Yes, I have been. And take a look how far down the toilet we have gone in the last 5 years. Just look at the debt, the deficits, look at the inflation, look at the layoffs, look at the standard of living, look at how the middle class has been decimated in the last 5 years. Take a look at what has taken place in the last 5 years. The wars that we're in, the amount of money that we're printing, we're financing wars, and we're ready to go into another one. I just can't believe that people don't see what's happening, and yet they'll go, oh, you've been saying this for 5 years. I don't think we have another 5 years to go. Your currency is being devalued every day. They're still printing money hand over fist. We're borrowing money from countries like China to finance this war over in Eastern Europe. We are paying the pensions of people in Eastern Europe with our money, while we have people sleeping on the streets of America, while we have vets sleeping in tents. We're paying other countries' pensions, and we're paying for other countries' wars. Matthew went on to say that they've greased the markets with trillions in quantitative easing. Powell and Yellen have been providing backdoor liquidity to this thirsty market. It's both tragic and remarkable, that is for sure. The Fed is still injecting tens of billions of dollars per month and hundreds of billions of dollars provisionally drawn from the reverse repo markets. Just more quantitative easing, just a different path, ladies and gentlemen. He goes on to say this: when the grease runs out, that is when the bond engine stalls and the global financial system stalls with it. We are going to watch this financial engine overheat and melt down. And I know there's a lot of euphoria out there with the stock market right now, but just think about why it's going up. Think about all the QE, the $1 trillion injections. Think about how artificial all this is. It's not because people are getting better jobs. It's not because the economy is really growing. It's not because of all this U.S. innovation that we're producing more, manufacturing more. No, none of that. It's purely the Fed injecting more money into the system. Look at the unloved U.S. bond market, he says. Foreign bidders for Uncle Sam's 20-year bond dropped under 60%. They were 74% of the bidders in November. Big banks had to fill the gap by purchasing 22% of these 20-year IOUs. It's all fake, ladies and gentlemen. It is all fake. Enjoy the euphoria if you're gambling in these markets, but be very, very careful. In the meantime, the markets are expecting Powell's promised rate cuts to become actual rate cuts. The markets are giddy in anticipation and have recently hit all-time highs on Powell's words rather than the Fed's actions. The S&P is the most dangerous bubble I have ever seen, traded, or studied. This thing is a ticking time bomb, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to ask yourself a common question, a simple question. Why are central banks stacking and trusting in that pet rock we call gold while dumping U.S. bonds? What's going on? Why do people not ask these simple questions? I think they just want to continue to gamble. I think people are addicted to gambling, and the stock market is purely gambling. There are no fundamentals left in the stock market. It is purely gambling. They see Humpty Dumpty is about to fall off a wall, and when it does, gold will do far more to protect investors and sovereigns than bad IOUs and bubble assets measured in paper money, Matthew says. I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. You know, people could be laughing right now. They're giddy. They're enjoying the euphoria, and God bless them. But this game is going to come to an end, and the engine is going to overheat. And when it does, people are going to get absolutely wiped out. Me personally, what I'm doing is, like I've been doing for years, I've been buying gold and silver since around 2013. That's when I really woke up, really started bulking up on security, training, gold, silver. And you know, the last couple years, I've just been buying gold, physical gold, and stacking cash. And yes, cash is being devalued, and cash is at some point going to be worth a lot less, but at the moment you need it. And so I think you have to have both at this time. And you know, if you can't get into gold, buy silver. I have silver. I'm probably 70-30 gold, silver. I think it's great to have both. Bill Holter would say buy junk, buy that constitutional silver. Very, very important for bartering. But I think that we're going back to simplicity. I think we're going to see more problems with digital money, cybersecurity, and it's just so easy to control people because you have the keys to the system. You can shut it down, and you could blame anybody. You could blame any country you want and say they did it, or they did it, or they did it when you did it. But think about how quickly they can shut the system down. You cannot access your money. You cannot get into a bank account. You cannot trade. You cannot buy. You cannot sell. I think that CBDCs are extremely dangerous. I think keeping all your money on a computer is extremely dangerous. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Now, switching gears here a little bit. The Daily Mail, the great unretirement, how millions of senior Americans are heading back to work to pay the bills after soaring prices ate up retirement savings. 1 in 5 Americans right now, 65 or older, is back to work. That is 20% of people 65 plus, they're working. I think that's nothing wrong if you want to go back to work. You're older, you're bored, I get it. But most of these people are forced to go back to work because the price of essentials has skyrocketed. Their car insurance has skyrocketed. Just the cost of day-to-day life has skyrocketed. Their rent, their home insurance, whatever it might be, they're forced to go back to work. And it's only 20% right now. This number is going to go much, much higher. And by the time you retire, it's going to be impossible. You'll be working till you're 90. Because if we stay on this collision course that we're on right now, you will be working till the day you die. And it's really, really sad. Yet we're taking millions of people from all over the world and giving them $5,000 and $10,000 debit cards. We're going to give them jobs. We're giving you, as our governor here said, Newsom, if you can make it to California, you're going to get health insurance. I'm paying for that. It is absolutely a slap in the face, completely disrespectful, and purely evil what is happening to the U.S. citizen, in my opinion. New York Post, brazen teens use SUV as battering ram to steal nearly $600,000 in luxury vehicles before leading police on chase. These teens were from Chicago. They went to a luxury dealership in Wisconsin, and they took an SUV and they just drove through the garage door with a Range Rover and accessed all these luxury SUVs. One's in custody, 8 got away, and a lot of money is missing. And people just go, well, it's insured, no big deal. Well, guess why insurance keeps going up? Because of this. Guess why the price of those vehicles will go up? Because of this. And one of the teens just said, hey, we're just doing kid stuff. We're just doing kid stuff. Where are the parents, ladies and gentlemen? We got a big problem here socially. Where are the parents? The family unit in America has been destroyed. The moral decay, the destruction of the family unit. It is so sad to see what is going on. This is just kid behavior. This is what we do for fun. Again, as I've said a million times, what are people going to do when they get hungry? Think about the level of violence that you're going to see in this country when people begin to go hungry, when people begin to get angry, when maybe those government subsidies, those checks don't show up or those cards don't work. What are people going to do? They are going to lash out. They're going to be hungry, they're going to be mad, and they're going to be looking at you because you have something. I hope you can protect it. I really do. I know too many people who, you know, they say they're walking the walk, but they're really not. They they could not handle their business if something happened. Yeah, it's great. You have generators and you have flashlights and you have gold and silver and you have food put away. But what are you going to do if somebody gets a hold of you, grabs you, throws you to the ground, kicks your door? What are you going to do? You have absolutely no skills. And as we've always said, when something happens, when that situation arises, you're going to revert back to your training. And if you have no training, you're going to revert back to nothing. You're going to be a victim. So welcome to being a victim if you're not out there training and working on your defensive skills. Here's another one from the New York Post. Strap hanger who had face destroyed in random acid attack slams city's soft on crime policy, says she can't leave her home. Why me? This happened December 2nd, 2022. Some of you may remember this. This woman was just on a New York subway, and somebody just thought it would be nice to throw sulfuric acid on her face. Another woman did this to this woman. Another woman threw sulfuric acid in this woman's face. She's had 16 procedures, and more than a year after a deranged stranger threw sulfuric acid in her face, Juanita Jimenez is still trying to heal. I mean, this is just so sad, so unbelievable. And I was reading this article today, and your heart goes out to her. But again, this is this demonic society that we live in. Could you imagine somebody, a human being, another woman, throwing sulfuric acid on another woman's face? I mean, how much more cruel can somebody be? She said, I never thought something like this would happen to me. I'm a nice person. And I want you to really think about that. I never thought this would happen to me. I'm a nice person. Too many people go through life thinking this. And this is delusional, because this usually happens to nice people. This usually happens. Bad things usually happen to people who are not ready for it, who don't expect it to happen because they're nice. Bad people, evil people look for you. They're looking for nice people, especially people who think nothing bad's going to happen to them. Nobody would ever kick my door in and come into my house and take my stuff. Nobody would ever grab me when I'm walking to my car and want to beat me up and rob me. Nobody would ever want to knock me to the ground and just kick me and film it for entertainment. That would never happen. People better wake up. You're dealing now really with spiritual warfare. There is evil running loose on the streets of America. This is so evil to do something like this. But these things, this is becoming common. This is becoming common. This is spiritual warfare. You're going to see even more evil than what we're seeing right now. And, I know people will say, well, I'm Christian and I just pray that God looks out for me and everything's going to be okay. That's not how it works. God gave you a brain. He gave you a choice. He gave you free will. And you better wake up. You better wake up. And, these people that say that, apparently you have not read the Bible too much. There's been a lot of trials and tribulations with God's people. God's people have been killed. They have been tortured. They have been judged. They have been made fun of. A lot of bad things have happened to God's people. And if you're one of God's people, you better expect some really bad things coming. And again, you have a choice. You can allow yourself to be a victim, or you can not allow yourself to be a victim. And that goes financially too. Like, we can all sit here and go, well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's out of our control. Yes, things are out of our control to a degree, but there's always something we can do. Like, if you believe that the system is melting down, why are you still 100% in the system? Why are you not getting out? Why are you not getting more diversified? I see some of these parents out there, and they have kids, and they refuse to work. They just think that they're going to work 2 or 3 days and just get by, and they're going to be able to take care of their families. I don't understand this. This mentality where people don't want to work, that they're just going to get enough through government subsidies and maybe work 2 or 3 days a week. That's a bad strategy too. Bad strategy. We are really a weak group of people, ladies and gentlemen. We are not our grandparents, that's for sure. Your grandparents would be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. They would take it as an insult to even offer them a government subsidy. Your grandparents would never, ever take it. They had too much pride. People don't have pride today. They're just narcissists. They just want to go on social media and pretend that they're big shots and high rollers. But all they are people with lots of credit cards, lots of debt, that don't know how to work hard, that just want to pretend that they're in some make-believe world. And it's really, really sad. And there's going to be a price to pay for all this. There's a bunch of stuff falling off the tree here. There's going to be a severe price to be paid here. And unfortunately, some of these people are parents. And they're setting a terrible, terrible example for their kids. They're making their kids weak. Their kids get bullied, and they wonder why their kids get bullied. What do? They pull their kids out of school. Instead of putting their kids in jiu-jitsu and teaching their kids how to fight, they hide their kids. They bow down to challenges. They bow down to the bully instead of, facing the challenge or the bully in the eyes and in the face. Now I'm going to pull my kid out of school. I'm not going to teach him how to fight. I'm not going to teach my kid skills. I'm not going to teach my kid, especially a boy, to be an independent human being, to be strong, to stand up for himself. What a terrible example so many parents right now are setting for their kids. And then there's great parents that got their kids in jiu-jitsu, 3, 4, 5 days a week. They're in athletics. They're paying attention to what they're doing in school. They spend time. They have conversations with their kids. That's how I grew up. We sat at the dinner table. I played sports. And every night we sat at the dinner table, talked about how school went, how practice went. And there's something to say about, having competition. I think it's good. I think it's good for a kid. Doesn't matter what type. But I think, some sort of competition is really, really good. I know I'm getting off on a rant here, and I'm all over the place, but I'm just thinking a little bit today off the top of my head about what I see happening. And, so, we see these kids stealing $600,000 in cars and, beating people up on subways and burning buildings down and all kind of nonsense. And where are the parents? Where are the parents? It's really, really sad. And this is why this time around, when the U.S. economy collapses, it's going to be a lot different than the 1929 collapse, because people have no morality today. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They will take what you have and not even blink. So be careful out there. And we should all be nice people. We should all be respectful people. But use common sense, exercise situational awareness, always be ready. Always be training, always be working on security. We can be nice, but again, this woman, I never thought it was going to happen to me because I'm a nice person. Evil preys on nice people. And again, we should be nice, but we shouldn't let evil prey on us. We should be ready for it, and we should be able to defeat it. So be protecting yourself financially, spiritually, and physically, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is going to get crazy. It's going to get chaotic. And it's just a matter of time. And it's sad that I have to sit here daily and make these type of videos. But again, this is what I'm passionate about doing. I don't want to see people become victims. I don't want to see people lose their wealth. I don't want to see people lose their jobs. I don't want to see people lose their country. Pray for America. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. I'm going to wrap it up right there. God bless.